There is a way to make the universe respond to our deepest desires, and that's what you'll learn in this video. We all have longings and dreams to fulfill in this life, and we've all felt frustrated at some point while waiting for them to come true. That's why I'm making this video, because I know everyone will benefit if they understand what I'm going to share today. My goal is for everyone to understand, so I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Let's begin. It often seems like the universe isn't listening to our requests. We make plans, visualize our goals, but things don't turn out the way we want. Why does this happen? How can we improve our communication with the universe to manifest what we desire? The answer becomes evident when we understand that the universe operates according to very particular laws. It's not just about asking and receiving, but about tuning in to these universal forces. When I talk about tuning in, I mean using our consciousness and attention. Don't be scared, it's not about complicated concepts, but simple practices that anyone can apply. I only ask one thing: keep an open mind. The first thing we must understand is that the universe is not something separate from us. On the contrary, we are all part of this energy. The universe is not something external. The universe is you, it's me, it's all of us. We are part of it, and we share its same creative power. The second thing we need to understand is that the universe is always listening. It never stops. It's always expecting an instruction from you to start creating. You are always giving instructions with your words, thoughts, and emotions, whether you are aware of it or not. That's why it's so important to be extremely cautious about what we focus our attention on. The moment you focus on something, the universe's creative power begins to work. And here's the first key point of the video. Controlling your words, thoughts, and emotions is difficult. I'll tell you more, controlling just one of these things is extremely difficult. When I tried to do it, I realized it would turn my hair gray in the process. Like everyone, I talk without thinking. I have a brain that never stops, and I'm affected by what happens around me. But even so, after a long journey, I learned the key to controlling all of that. In fact, I've already given you that key. Perhaps you didn't notice it because, ironically, you weren't paying attention. The first key to speaking to the universe and getting exactly what you ask for is attention. And I repeat, as soon as you focus on something, you'll set the universe's creative power in motion. This is nothing new. In fact, it's been there all along. To those who have, more will be given, and to those who do not have, even what they have will be taken away. This phrase is easy to understand. Those who have focus on abundance and gain more. Those who do not have focus on lack and lose more. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The same never-ending story. Where we direct our attention, we are investing our energy, and what we feed with our energy is what grows and expands in our lives. If you focus on lack, it will automatically trigger negative thoughts of scarcity. These thoughts will begin to affect your emotions with feelings of despair, and as soon as you see a friend on the street, you'll start talking about your problems. And there's the trap. The universe is always listening. The only way to avoid this trap is to focus on the good things. That way you'll think positively, feel good, and stop spewing calamities from your mouth. Think about the people you know, and you'll see there's at least one who is always talking about their problems, illnesses, and insecurities. You'll realize that this person is always in a state of stress, always worried. That person is unconsciously using their creative power to shape their reality. The universe, in its eternal kindness, provides them with everything they ask for. As we grow up, we observe the people around us and begin to develop negative emotions that we carry around like a sack. When we become teenagers, this sack grows to the point where we can go to parties and meet with our friends, and we can talk about how terrible our childhood was, how cruel our parents, relatives, teachers, and everyone else were. And when we become adults, what is the mark of maturity in our society? The mark of an adult is that they have a big sack of negative emotions because of how much they've suffered. What's the result? Most of the time, when you're with other people, you let your guard down and tell them how much you've suffered. In other words, you use the exchange of negative emotions as the basis of your relationship. I show you my negative emotions, and you show me yours. Remember what we did as children? What we do now is gather like a couple of merchants in an Arab bazaar and display our negative emotions, saying, "Oh, look at that horrible childhood, look at that awful relationship, look at how grumpy my boss is, how terrible this is," and so on. They keep exchanging. What you sow will grow, gain strength, and stay alive. By the way, negative emotions, and this is another thing I learned in my studies, are very fragile and very fleeting. If you don't keep them alive through constant talk and proper cultivation, they die. Yes, negative emotions die. They're like a fire. It doesn't happen where there's nothing to burn. If a spark falls where there's nothing to burn, it goes out. Negative emotions, if not talked about and cultivated all the time, die. Have you ever had the experience of being very worried about something, upset about something, and it took up all your time? And then you get to work and get so busy doing something else for 3 or 4 hours that you don't have time to think about anything else. And after that you stop and say, "Heavens, I haven't worried about this for a long time. I need to worry about it." What happens? Nothing. It's like the fire is going out. You have to go back to it, think about it, talk about it, worry about it, and deal with it until it consumes your whole mind. How often does that happen? Well, what the mature adult does is put aside their negative emotions and move on with the rest of their life. They move on with the rest of their life, leaving them behind like a pile of garbage on strike. If someone asks them how things are going, they respond, "Wonderful. How's life? Magnificent. How are your relationships? They couldn't be better. How's your health? How do you feel?" Great. In other words, they don't talk about negative things. When you talk about negative things, in fact, you're mixing more of that into your life. Look at people who have problems. People who have problems all the time, never solve their problems, and are people who talk about them all the time. To those who have, more will be given, and to those who do not have, even what they have will be taken away. The importance of the present and the embodiment of desires. Here's the second key to the video. Only the present moment exists. The past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. The only tangible reality is the here and now. When we get too lost in past memories or future worries, we are disconnected from the living energy flow that flows in the present. The universe cannot interpret our desires if we focus on the past or the future. And I know you must be tired of hearing all this about the present moment. I know you probably understand its importance well, but now I'll tell you something that will help you internalize it even more. You always place your desires in the future, and you always place your misfortunes in the present. And if you don't believe me, think about it for a minute. When I have this, I'll be happy. Future. Someday, I'll achieve my dreams. Future. Also, I feel bad. Present. Things aren't going as expected. Present. It's amazing how in some way it seems like we're programmed to adopt negative positions towards life. I've often talked about the power of words, but I don't think I've ever presented it in such a simple way. Well-being equals future. Discomfort equals present. We really need to think about this and do what we can to change it. I'm not telling you to spend all day paying attention to what you say or to only speak from a positive perspective. There's no need to fall into absurdity. Simply pay attention to the phrases that come out of your mouth when you're referring to yourself. When you detect a phrase that might attract negative consequences into your reality, simply say another phrase that cancels it out. Over time, you'll start changing your language without even realizing it. It's that simple. Focus on what you want and express yourself in the present tense, friends, so that the universe can respond to our desires. We must embody them and feel them fully in the present. It's not just about visualizing them, but living from the vibrational state of already having manifested them. Abracadabra, this popular phrase associated with magic, means I create as I speak. There you have something to reflect on. Going back to the topic, we must speak to the universe in the present tense because, for the universe, your words are commands. Continuing to place what you desire in a future that is yet to come only makes it take longer to arrive. The universe doesn't even know what the future is. Time is a limited human perception. The universe only knows what the present is, and your words, your thoughts, and your emotions are the only language it speaks. To create what you desire, it's essential to start speaking the same language as the universe. Now comes the third and final key to the video. Are you ready? Here it is. Gratitude. The importance of gratitude. There's a deep secret in life, and it's that gratitude attracts abundance. When we give thanks, we open the doors for more good things to enter our lives. Gratitude isn't just a courtesy. It's a powerful act of recognizing and appreciating what we already have. That's why people who practice gratitude are happier. They can always find something good even in the worst situations. But how can gratitude be so important? The answer is that it is an expression of faith in the universe. When we give thanks for something, we affirm that we have already received it, even if it hasn't physically manifested yet. And here's where it gets tricky. Remember what I said earlier. The universe only speaks the language of the present moment. When you express gratitude for something you desire, the universe interprets it as if it already exists, and that's when it begins to manifest it in your life. Let me emphasize something important. Gratitude is not just about big things. It's about everything, even the smallest things. Start by giving thanks for what you already have, no matter how little or insignificant it may seem. By doing so, you'll begin to shift your focus from lack to abundance, and the universe will respond by bringing more of what you're grateful for into your life. To wrap up, let's recap the 3 keys to speaking to the universe and getting what you ask for. First, focus your attention on what you want, not what you don't want. Second, embody your desires in the present moment, as if they already exist. And third, practice gratitude for what you have, and for what you desire as if it's already here. When you align your words, thoughts, and emotions with these principles, you'll start to see the universe respond in ways you never imagined.